me is a closure and 3 14-inch bundles. This hair is from Luxury Hair, and no, this video is not sponsored. I'm showing you how the lace looks on my skin, and there are different types of lace. I am a beginner, so I do not know. In the next clip, I will show you another lace cap I have and the way that it looks. I am mixing the BW2 bleaching powder along with the liquid so that I can bleach the knots of the closure.
Nothing for the same, nothing for the same. All up in my head, that's how I behave.
Now that the bad boy is all mixed up, you're gonna spread it like PB&J. Yes, just spread that baby. Spread it, spread it, spread it. In the next few clips, I'm gonna show you the different stages when it starts to turn like a little golden brown. That's the color that you're gonna go for. This exact same one. That way it looks more natural when you have the wig on your head.
Even know if you'll be okay. If you'll be okay.
I will be sewing on this mannequin head that's from the GEX, and it's the inch 22 because that's the circumference of my head. Now that the closure is all dried and bleached, this is how it looks.
I know
T-pins. We will be needing T-pins as well.
you want me to know you're doing well. Sending this shit to me.
You will need a wig cap. This is essential, but I got the wrong one. It's important that you stretch out the wig cap and you mimic the nape of your head. And this T-pins, this is why you use them, so that you can keep the wig cap in place. So this is exactly what I'm doing.
It's just how I behave. How I behave. How I behave.
Now that my wig cap is secured, I will be putting on the closure. And this is why I said I got the wrong one, because the closure was actually too small for the front of the wig cap. Therefore, I advise you to get the wig cap that is completely meshed. And here you can see me struggling to put on the T-pins to get it to the right size. I was so frustrated at first, but do not give up. So what I'm going to do is readjust, try to at least. So I'm putting the T-pins back. Finally, I found a way to work around it. I don't know how, but I did. Now what I'm going to show you is what not to do. You're not going to tug on the closure because that will not be good. And what you will be needing is a curved needle thread. The curved weaving needle. That's what you're going to be needing, because it gives you a better leverage when you're sewing. It feels more comfortable than if you were to use a straighter needle. See, it will be uncomfortable. Although this is my first time sewing a wig, I know this because I've sewn before. And what you will need is a thread. Can you see I'm new? I'm a beginner just like y'all. Got my new thread. You will need scissors.
You walked into my life, and I knew right then and there I wouldn't get you off my mind. But then I looked you up, and there she was, in your arms all cute and stuff. You got someone new.
Here I am sewing through the lace part of the wig cap, trying to make it work. I'm trying so very hard. And then guess what? On the second stitch, I messed up. See, this is not what we want. We don't want to be messing up. As soon as we start, like, no, who wants that? But anyways, I decided not to give up. I just clipped off that part and then I tied it 3 times. That way we won't have the stitches coming out. Ain't nobody want their wig falling off. I then proceeded to sew in on the lace part of the wig. And here you see my stitches look a little neat. They look a little decent. I told y'all I used to sew. You're not convinced already to not buy this kind of wig cap. If you do not have the correct closure, then this will. Look at that. I was still sewing on the lace. I didn't know, honestly, I don't know what I was doing, but I just went with it. And here my stitch is not perfect on when I started, but as I got the feel of it, I started to do okay. I don't know what I was doing here, see? But I made a way. If there is a will, there is a way. And finally, I could use the bundles. My problem was I didn't know if I was supposed to sew through the weft or underneath it. And that's what I was doing at first. It took me hours before I finally realized, okay, this is too hard. Let me stitch underneath it instead of stitching literally through it. See? Oh, and then you can see me doing a little better, kind of. Look at that, y'all. That is a hand movement of a beginner. But I kid you not, when you get the feeling of what exactly you're supposed to be doing, it will feel a lot kind of easier. What you're going to see is that the whole process is pretty much repetitive. So you can either sew underhand or overhand. Do what works for you and what do you feel is most comfortable. Okay?
Why you gotta be taken? Can't you see the heart is breaking for you? It's just too good to be true. Why do you gotta be taken? 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 Oh no, why do you gotta be taken? I'm just wishing you
What I forgot to mention is that when you're starting with the new bundle, it is best that you use a T-pin to hold the other side, because when I first started, like, it was uncomfortable because I started stitching one side and the other side would drop. Yeah, it was all over the place, okay? So make sure you hold it down with the T-pin and then you continue sewing. Another important note is that when you start to do a wig and it's your first time, I advise you, please, to use a Sharpie, the highlighted one, because then that way you know exactly where to stitch. The problem what I did was I stitched the back way too close and I almost didn't have enough of the bundles left on top. So I advise you to please use a Sharpie to do a lineup to see exactly where you're going to stitch.
All up in my head.
An important note is that when you're sewing, what you're not supposed to do is put the needle so far up, because when you do, it usually tugs on the wig cap. And just because nobody can see it don't mean the work doesn't have to be neat. As you watch me stitch, I'm going to give you a little back history about this wig, well, the weave. The thing is, I had this for a whole year in like 3 months and I never knew what to do with it. I didn't know if I should sew it on or I should make a cap. It was there for a long time and I decided it was about time that I at least tried to make something out of it. And this is what we got. Would I attempt to do another wig again, although all of the difficulties I've faced? Yes, I will. Because just like everything in life, there's stages to it. A child isn't born walking. They would stand, then fall, then take a step and fall again. This will repeat until eventually the child walks. The same applies for making a wig. Your first try won't be perfect, but when you keep doing it, you'll get better at it. You think your favorite hairstylist was always that good at what she did? Oh no, baby girl.
I'm sorry, I don't feel the same way back. Ay, I just wanna be doing shit I haven't. You won't get me, it's just how I behave.
What you'll notice me doing is every time I start a new line, I would put the needle through the wig cap and then through the weft, because that way I feel as though it's more secured. Remember earlier when I told you when you keep doing it, you will get comfortable? Now this is a perfect example, because here I'm using one hand instead of putting the needle in one hand and then putting in the other. But here you can see me just stitching with one hand. So I was getting pretty comfortable with it. Definitely.
If you'll be okay.
reach the very end of that tip, I'm gonna cut it off. And yes, I will be using it because no weave left behind. Y'all ever watch Trolls? No trolls left behind.
While you drinking, fade away. All my friends, they fade away. Don't worry, fade away. Don't worry, fade away. Nothing for the same.
I sewed this as I normally would the others, and when I couldn't sew it anymore, what I did was I took the other bundle and I sewed it exactly where I left off.
All up in my head, that's just how I behave. How I behave. How I behave. How I behave. I don't even know if you'll be okay. If you'll be okay. I don't even know.
As a beginner, another mistake I made was that I doubled the tracks. It would be best if you use the tracks singly. Is that even a word? Anyways, do not double the tracks because then you make mistakes like this. Okay, so I accidentally cut off some of the hair when I cut the track. Look at that. Look at all this wasted weave, man.
Just wanna be doing shit I haven't. You won't get me, it's just how I behave. How I behave. How I behave. How I behave. I don't even know if you'll be okay. If you'll be okay. I don't even know if you'll be okay. If you'll be okay. While you drinking, fade away. All my friends, they fade away. Don't worry, fade away.
Finally, I was all the way to the top and almost done. Here you can see me stitching close to the closure. You're not supposed to stitch exactly like on top of it because sometimes, you know, when the closure, the lace on the closure gets old, you can get a next one and just replace it.
How I behave. How I behave. How I behave. How I behave. I don't even know if you'll be okay. If you'll be okay. I don't even know if you'll be okay. If you'll be okay.
This clip is the result of a little panic I had because I thought that I was running out of the tracks. So what I did was I left space, and I said if I have any more left, I would come back to it, and that is exactly what I did.
That I never lie. Doing things for me like you want me back. Hey, I'm sorry, I don't feel the same way back. Hey, I just wanna be doing shit
For someone who's done this for the very first time, I must say, not bad at all. I'm kind of impressed, featuring my little sister who's playing assistant. But yeah, this was actually a fun experience, and I'll do it again and again and again until I become very good at it. What they say, practice makes perfect.